drinking milk with her husband.
There we go.
Terrible picture of Riley. They've given her raccoon eyes and made her look like she's 40. This is a 25-year-old
I'm gonna come all over you.
Milk doesn't do this to you. But it's this ridiculous caption. Nutrition shouldn't be controversial. Who thought it was? Nobody. What this is apparently a reference to is the fact that in 2012, that dastardly Barack Hussein Obama and his husband, Michael, took whole milk away from the schools via the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act, limiting them to 1% milk.
His husband, Michael.
Wouldn't let your kids have the real milk. Now, was that stupid? Yeah, sure. I mean, it was meant to combat childhood obesity, and it didn't work. Kids are fatter than ever in spite of them being saved from the evils of whole milk. But no one cared. There was never a significant movement among even the weirdest leftists going, my child won't be consuming that disgusting conservative whole milk. Now, where's the litter box in case they identify as a cat? No, it's just division for the sake of division. Along with typical government trying to leave their mark on things, because I'm absolutely convinced at this point it's all a game combined with a make-work project. One party gets in power, makes a bunch of pointless changes, the opposing party gets in power, changes them back. Elton will tell you it's the circle of life. And so the Republicans remove the pointless restriction, and the children can now have whole milk if they want to, even if they think they're fat. Right, Napoleon? But the saddest part about this campaign is, this is the best they could get? In case you aren't familiar with Riley Gaines, she's made an entire crusade out of the fact that she tied for 5th in a swimming competition with a trans person. She was defeated by 4 other biological women, cis women, real women.
Real women.
Put in front of women there to make yourself feel better, she lost to them. But she blames the trans woman for why she never, say, went to the Olympics. Why couldn't they get a real athlete? The old Got Milk ads they're ripping off here got actual celebrities all the time. People at the top of their game, literally and figuratively. That liberal soy milk got Michael Phelps as a spokesperson. He doesn't even drink that shit. You ever see his training diet? A lot of cheese in there, but no milk. He consumed 10,000 calories a day of pasta, pizza, and energy drinks. He didn't drink milk, he drank fucking Red Bulls. And he won the most medals in Olympic history. Maybe Riley should have stayed away from the whole milk. It slowed her down in the pool.
Fuck.
Also, why the fuck do we want to bring back the campaign that makes it look like celebrities just finished blowing someone? Nothing sells a product like cum-crusted lips. You tell me if that's better or worse than this video, where RFK and Kid Rock put on a very homoerotic display of working out in a sauna before enjoying a glass of what I hope is milk in what looks like Hef's grotto. Ripping font. Secretary Kennedy, why is mine so salty? I teamed up with Kid Rock to deliver 2 simple messages to the American people. Get active plus eat real food. Again, why Kid Rock, who makes even less sense than Riley Gaines? Why not, say, an actual accomplished athlete? What about that figure skater that Twitter wants to bomb? And again, why this obsession about whole milk instead of literally any other healthy food? Well, the lefties have their conspiracy theories.
Oh.
One is that many other cultures have genes that make them unable to process milk. And this is actually a white supremacy dog whistle.
Based.
Whistle during the Got Milk era? Was Beyonce and Uncle Tom for the dairy industry? Someone make that 3-hour YouTube essay. The other is that RFK actually wanted this to be a campaign for raw milk, but they got skittish at the last minute and changed it to whole milk. Ah, yes. The administration who used the Pokemon Gotta Catch 'em All theme paired with footage of rounding up immigrants as propaganda for ICE. Yeah, they would never do anything controversial. But that brings us back to the raw milk morons. This embarrassing gaggle of people guzzling unpasteurized milk and dancing like your drunk aunt at a wedding. Much like the anti-vax crowd, the raw milk crowd is growing from one crackpot we all laughed at, and you, Jenny McCarthy, to a full-blown
amazing aim.
politics.
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, buddy.
Says whoever this goof is with 5 jugs of bloody pus-filled milk labeled not for human consumption. God didn't boil well water or cook chickens for you either. But I suppose if you believe through him all things are done, he did put a man on this earth named Louis Pasteur, who basically figured out that humans were dying of highly preventable diseases.
Oh!
Like, say,
I'm a ninja!
carried through raw milk, and that if you
shit.
fucking boil it, it kills those diseases. And then it's safe to drink and store for more than a day or two. A guy figured this out about 160 years ago, and it, along with his other discoveries, literally increased life expectancy rates. But I ain't gonna listen to no French egghead. Fuck do they know? I'm gonna get all my information from people on Twitter with no education, because they say the things I like to hear. The rise of anti-intellectualism is really something. We already went through the paleo fad, but how long until we get people advocating for living in caves and shitting in their own drinking water because that's what early humans did and they were fine? Let's all become hunter-gatherer tribes whose women died in childbirth half the time. That's what God intended.
Based.
The raw milk party thing comes from a character named Holistic Hilda. It's not parody, it's not a joke. Besides being an advocate for raw milk, she also claims that butter may be the missing link in overcoming depression, anxiety, and bad moods. You fools and your antidepressants. Get yourself a stick of Land O'Lakes. Oops, not them, they're woke. Get yourself some Kerrygold and eat it like a chocolate bar. You'll be cured. But it's shit like this that results in people getting sick or dying. A woman named Rachel Maddox is suing a dairy farm in Florida, always Florida, because she was one of 21 people who got an E. coli infection from raw milk, which caused her toddler to get sick to the point of needing surgery, and, oh yeah, she was pregnant, was being the key word, infection forced a miscarriage.
Jesus.
That she didn't know about the risks involved with raw milk. Yeah, because she's a fucking idiot. Again, pasteurization has existed for 160 years. The label even said, not for human consumption. She drank it anyway. Yeah, but I drank raw milk for years and I've never had a problem. Good for you, but that's anecdotal evidence. George Burns lived to 100 years old, smoked between 4 to 10 cigars a day, every single day of his life from the age of 14. Well, I guess that means lung cancer's a myth. This is a bit of an aside, but Scott Adams recently died of prostate cancer, a cancer with one of the highest survival rates, and while we'll never know if proper treatment could have saved him or prolonged his life, what we do know is that he tried to cure it with ivermectin. He tried to use an anti-parasitic drug used on humans to treat lice and worms because people like Cat Turd call it a miracle drug. When you start getting your medical advice from a man who named himself after something that comes out of the ass of house pets, you are fucked. But that's what all these raw milk idiots are doing too. They've been brainwashed into believing that, I don't know, Big Stove is out to get them. They think all the nutrients lost by pasteurization outweigh the benefits, which, A, there's no science behind, but an extra bit of B12 surely isn't worth miscarriages. And B, who the fuck is drinking this much milk as an adult anyway? What adults are making milk their entire personality? You give milk to babies because they can't eat anything. You do it until they can get their nutrients through regular means. You give milk to babies to help them grow into adults. But apparently, when you give milk to adults, they turn into babies. The only time I'll join this whole trans train is when I'm in need of raw milk in Maryland. Time to identify as a dog. I have to identify as a cat to get raw milk in Canada. Thank goodness my state just made selling raw milk for animal feed legal. Moving forward, I will identify as a dog and buy raw milk for all our homemade yogurts and cheeses. Now listen, that's fine.
Bro.
I better not see you entering any agility competitions.
Why? Why are people so brain fried?
Gaines is gonna be pissed when her border collie ties for 5th against you.
So wild.
Before you read any of the influencer reactions to the war.
Everyone's saying, hey, look what your boy did, look what you voted for. I voted for none of this. No, chat, I didn't vote for any of this. Who'd have thought that the president could just lie? Listen, Jet, all you guys saying that I wanted this, I wanted none of this. All you guys saying I wanted this, I wanted none of this.
The U.S. says that Iran was intent on developing a nuclear weapon, which is probably the case given Trump pulled out of the Iran deal. Yeah, but didn't we do that last time and we blew him up? Why didn't we just regime change him last time? And why are we regime changing him this time?
Nah, man. Now we're going to war with Iran? Nah, man. I didn't vote for none of this. Everyone's saying, hey, look what your boy did.
I actually have significantly less of a problem with
I vote for 10.
was there another person here? Well, oh, I don't know. Was Aiden Ross on this? With like XQC and Aiden Ross, because I feel like the streamer culture is a bit different, and then people just kind of look at him as dumb. Like I think they shouldn't have done this. I guess it's a Trump event, but the damage that the comedian podcasters
Bitch!
in this world where they've
Can I revive this guy? Aw.
These are like the new truth sayers of the Republic. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever recover. Like I think people legitimately think, at least for the Joe Rogan.
Oh, he got my fucking ass.
And it feels like for the Andrew Schultz guy as well, and the Theo Vons, are like, oh no, these are our brave centrist people with no filter coming out and telling us like what's real and true. I don't know. It just seems super fucking. I don't know if we ever recover.
Now is the Foreign Minister of Oman, Badr al-Husaydi, who is the mediator negotiating.
Oman, shout out. They do exist.
Between the United States and Iran. President
Oh my god.
Not happy with the way talks are going, and not happy that they're not willing to give us what we have to have. From your point of view, is diplomacy failing?
I am confident, and in my assessment of the way the talks are going, I think there is.
I kind of feel like I'm getting radicalized against Israel. Like I kind of feel like they deserve anything bad that happens to them at this point. The issue is, remember what I said before, okay? If you're on that pro-Pali, the crazy retarded Western shit, then the idea is that Israel is constantly and always invading people and taking shit.
Man,
over,
fuck Israel.
or whatever, blah blah blah, right? Or they'll do anything they can to do any shit like this, right? That's not quite true. However, something that is true and has been true is that Israel will always.
I'm just getting
seize the
raped.
opportunity to do shit. And the problem is that Donald Trump is an almost
This is fun.
infinite opportunity for Israel to do shit, so they will do as much shit as they can do as long as Donald Trump is president.
I actually enjoy getting raped.
Right now, unfortunately, and because our president has literally no concept, backbone, anything with regards to the Middle East, and he sees probably an easy victory in terms of like bombing Iran, and he really wants to make a name for himself.
Like, I just love getting absolutely raped.
Within our reach if we just allow diplomacy the space it needs to get there. Because I don't think any alternative to diplomacy is going to solve this problem.
When you say space, does that mean you are asking for more time to continue negotiations?
I'm asking to continue this process because we have already achieved quite substantial progress
Jesus.
in the direction of a deal. And the heart, obviously, is very important, and I think we have captured that heart.
When you say the heart of the deal, Iran has said
They were ramping up nuclear activity in Iran. IAEA said this 2 days before our attack. Okay, so what have we been doing since we bombed their nuclear facilities last time? What was the... I mean, like, we knew... I mean, what do we expect, right? Like...
God damn.
has to be nuclear. What have you actually agreed upon? Can you give us any sense of why?
Why am I not healing?
Because if the ultimate objective is to ensure forever that Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb, I think we have cracked that problem through these negotiations by agreeing a very important breakthrough.
This game feels like more tweaky than Call of Duty, low-key.
And I think if we can capture that and build on it, I think a deal is within our reach.
What has Iran agreed to you that they have never done before? Can you
I
give
did
us
not
a
know I
The
could do
single
that.
most important achievement, I believe, is the agreement that Iran will never ever have a nuclear material that will create a bomb. This is, I
The
think,
audio in this game is like
this is
fucking...
Is not in the old deal that was negotiated during President Obama's time. This is something completely new. It really makes the enrichment argument less relevant because now we're talking about zero stockpiling, and that is very, very important because if you cannot stockpile material that is enriched, then there is no way to actually create one, whether you're rich or not rich. And I think this is really something that has been missed on the media, and I hope you clarify that from the standpoint.
Explain that. So the enriched material, the things that could be used as nuclear fuel for a bomb, you're saying Iran would not...
Nope.
They will not be able to
Real quick, the Obama nuclear deal, was that a good deal or no? I think it was. I thought it was a good framework. Some people claim that there were not enough inspections or something, but everything I looked up, it seems like for the most part, it was a good meme. But
It was a good meme.
So there is zero accumulation, zero stock coverage, and full verification that those people
Oh no.
full and comprehensive.
the weird thing is the online reception is more that it's Iraq 2.0 and not.
Boom! Boom! Fuck your bitch ass decoy, boy!
What do you mean by the comparison there?
Boom!
Verification by the IAEA, which is the agency in charge of this missile.
The UN nuclear watchdog. So you're saying all enriched material would be shipped someplace else, not Russia, but
No, the current stockpiles that still exist,
the things that are still in
I
Iraq.
think that there is agreement now that this will be downblended to the
The only complaints were that they didn't consult Israel or Saudi Arabia during the process. It's because everybody in our current administration is a fucking retard because they're children and they have
Oh.
no concept of how to actually.
No, I'm a
operate as
retard,
adults in the
actually. What's
world,
going
right?
on?
So they probably think that like attacking the country,
Yeah.
we make the decision and we blow them up.
Yeah.
That's cool. As opposed to putting probably everybody in the region on notice, ensuring that everybody's going to be okay through whatever the future conflict is, ensuring that.
Where is this guy?
If they get counterattacked or if.
Where are you at, little buddy?
If there are counterintelligence or surgeons or whatever.
How do I melee without
Like,
pulling out a
probably
goddamn...
My guess is, now I've never ran a war before, but my guess is when you're actually doing these types of attacks in a region.
Is that my melee? Is my melee a goddamn...
That you run down to make sure that everything is going to turn out okay, and it wouldn't be surprising to me if the current administration literally ran through zero.
Well, there's a-
things, and they were just like, oh shit, we're gonna bomb and torpedo people because it's fucking base.
lowest level possible. To neutral, naturally. Which means
Loanerbox told me the deal was bad. I don't know who to believe. Well, Loanerbox has.
I want to kill this guy. Oh, it's a
Really there
decoy.
is
It's
scouts.
gotta be.
So, who are you gonna believe? I don't think it was like a good quote-unquote final deal, but I think that it represented something for a country that we had nothing with.
Hearing
and
things
we've been
everywhere.
enemies with since
This
Bush
game's
decided
audio
to
is
throw them
so
on the axis
trippy.
of
What's the
evil.
next point?
So I think it was
Going
a
to
good
the next
step
point.
towards some kind of normalized relations, and it was better than nothing. But I mean, ideally, the what was it? The joint JCPOA, joint cause plan of action, joint something plan of action. It was a good joint coalition plan of action or something. But it was a good first step, and hopefully would have continued to move in that direction. Joint comprehensive plan of action.
and convert it into fuel, and that's irreversible.
That would be significant for the line.
It is very significant, and I think
In your view.
Where's my grenade launchers? 3?
What about
I'm gonna hit you with a grenade launcher, boy.
CPOA? I was like,
You best watch your
people
fucking
run out
tongue,
here.
boy.
It says people to lie without anything else is retarded. They're acting like these are like children. Also, having a deal.
Having a deal.
Violate it.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Yep. Yep. Tell them. It's good. It's a good thing. That's what we want. Because now you can hold them accountable. Eat this, bitch ass. Uh-huh.
Fuck them. I'm just gonna go fuck their shit up. And then you go to fuck their shit up.
I thought I had a grenade launcher.
Fuck their shit up. Why, bro?
I didn't know I had a shotgun, a grenade launcher, an AR. Oh my god. Actually, I have a carbine.
No, but
This is a carbine.
Oh, well, it sounds like you should have got that agreement first so that I could actually see.
Yo, this thing is a
that
stick.
You know, you had an agreement that they were gonna fuck around, and then they did fuck, or that they weren't gonna fuck around, then they did fuck around, and now you have more moral and legal authority
Oh,
to go.
bitch!
Well, you can build a coalition.
What happened?
You can do stuff easier.
Yes, we run a confidential report from IAEA. It says inspectors report seeing Iran conducting
Oh, what happened?
uranium enrichment sites. Iran has refused to tell us what
Oh, wait, hold on.
refused to
Who's
allow
next?
to look at.
Hold on
Are
now.
you telling me that
I'm
inspectors
coming.
will be given access to these sites, like at Isfahan?
I'm going to flank you.
Iran has offered that. So
Oh, we already got you.
IAEA?
but I think, there is room also, if there is a deal in place. I think,
Ah!
from my point of view,
Ah!
that even United States inspectors
Only I kill me.
access at some point in the process, if we have a deal that is respected and fair. And,
Really?
I see no reason why there
This isn't gonna work out the way you think.
Iran has never allowed American weapons inspectors on their soil. They wouldn't let President Obama do that. You think Iran would let President Trump send American inspectors into Iran?
This is why I think this is a much better deal, because I think Iran is open to it in a way that never had been the case in the past.
Not really Vice President J.D. Vance. Does he understand the details like you have laid out here? What did he say?
I knew it.
Some of my friends are
I knew
gonna
my
be pretty
fucking
good
ass was about to
like
get
a retard
obliviated.
is operative. Stop, you're already wearing me down.
You're wearing him down, dude.
It's not a bad question. This is the answer, okay? The answer is that the average citizen of any... Wait, hello? Oh. The average citizen
Oh,
of
yeah.
any country, okay, is not going to be able to do all the necessary research to understand a lot of what's going on in the media today, because stuff is just very complicated right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. The job is
Venomous.
of the media, mainstream or alternative, to break things down for ordinary citizens so that they can have like a bite-sized takeaway from things that are going on. But the media has just everything's just fucked now. Has just completely abandoned its role. Like I saw.
Well, this is the
Like I guess people. I mean, I kind of expected with Hassan, I guess, because at least he's a big streamer, or he's got like his little talent rep, you know, shoving him onto different platforms. But like, I guess just nobody does any research or homework on anything in terms of who they platform or whatever. They have no fucking idea, or.
So this is the key question. Why do they do this? I think there are 3 possibilities, okay? And I think all 3 possibilities are valid. The first is the idea of hubris. If you look at history, this is how empires behave.
Like if you watch this guy's channel, this guy is the ultimate vibe lord. Like he has very little knowledge, historical background.
Bro, he's just vibing, dude. What's the problem, bro? He's just vibing, bro. He's just
This guy's
vibing.
like a real professor or is like super educated. I think he's got
Just
over 1 million.
vibing. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I
Joe
did
Rogan
not
or
think
somebody else
that
was
would.
platforming his videos, and it's just like this guy's just like a king, like a fucking king retard. Sneeko had him on for hours. The U.S.-Iran war. This was the guy who said that we can't win because there are mountains. The U.S. is gonna lose because of mountains.
Based.
Damn, dude, this guy's videos do crazy views. How power works. Let's do 15 minutes. Everything this guy says is
Good morning,
just...
class.
Bro, he's teaching.
First class. And
Like, there's like 4 students sitting in this class.
It's my homie, Professor
It's
Young.
not like a real... It's not even like a... I don't even know what he's teaching. If it's like an English lesson or whatever, and he just does like...
today, what I want to do is provide the framework for how we will learn the semester. What are we learning? How are we learning? Why are we learning? All right. So
You try to debate him, it would be a horrible conversation. It's...
why do we do this? Because it's a lot easier than giving gold to other people. And so this system would facilitate trade throughout the world.
Oh god, he's doing... pow. Do you think he's gonna do petrodollar?
Doesn't make sense. Now
That's
I'm a bank,
50
I own
bullets.
gold, and I want to make money with it. So I want to give it to other people. So other merchants will come to me and say, listen, I need gold. Can you lend me out gold? Right? But I say to him, yeah, but if I give you out the gold, you have a security issue. It's inconvenient for you. So why don't I give you a receipt, a contract instead? Does that make
It's
sense?
getting harder and harder to listen to political commentary these days, just because it feels like there's basic checks on shit. Like Hajj, he was talking to fucking Lycan and Strader, like they're serious people. The problem is there's like a lack of
I inspect my gun.
knowledge. Like,
Bro, that's not 50
actual
bullets.
knowledge. Like people just don't have like just very basic.
Makes sense. Because all I need is a contract in order to
Just believe.
trade elsewhere.
Just fucking believe.
Right? So by doing this, what I've done is I've doubled the gold in my bank. Right? I created money out of nothing.
Wow, he created money out of nothing.
5 million. That hasn't changed, but the receipt is now 5 million plus 5 million. So theoretically, I now have 10 million in the bank.
Okay, based.
All right?
$10 million.
Money and finance works.
Wow.
Now there's a problem with the system. What's the problem with the system?
Infinite
What do you
money.
Okay, that's a good question, okay? Why is it that people believe in me, okay? The answer is very simple. The answer is because for most of human history, people didn't need money. If you were just a normal person, what are you doing? You were in a village growing crops. You wanted to like get new stuff, what would you do? You would trade with someone else, right? Maybe you would go with that I want. Well, then I would trade you a cow for it. So we didn't actually need money.
Is this
Oh my god,
I don't
Ukraine.
know the answer to this. My vibe thing would be that money is probably quite old in human history, just because I feel like bartering is very, very difficult in terms of equivalent exchange. Like, let's say that I'm a farmer and I raise cows. I probably don't need to buy 1,000 shirts, but I'm never trading a 1 cow for 1 shirt. I thought this is why mediums of exchange were created, because it's very, very hard, depending on the type of thing that you're dealing with, to make an.
I don't know. It's kind of controversial, like, or not controversial, but it's like it's hard to pinpoint what. It's like it kind of meant different things depending on the culture, I think.
You would want money. So, for example, marriage, right? Okay. So,
what is this supposed to be for? Why do I want to use this gun?
That could be unpaid.
This feels like shit.
Oh, sorry.
Get me back on the fucking unit, man.
So, for example, a very common thing is, maybe you and I fight, and I kill you. Well, in theory, your family should not come and kill me. But obviously, there's problems, right? So the way to settle this dude is, if you're symbolically,
get away!
To say, I'm sorry, I killed you. This is a debt that can never be repaid. Okay? That's what money was used for in most circumstances throughout human history. There was no actually real use for money. It was symbolic. But with the rise of trade and with merchants, if they needed money.
Why would you give money to a family if it didn't do anything? But that's
You're done, buddy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just picked a random video. You don't watch any of these videos. All of it is like just garbage. It's just like it's like a guy having, I don't know what you mean. It's like a guy having like a midlife crisis, who is just like became like a super famous quote unquote professor who just, it's all just like he just vibes out on everything. That's it.
In order to facilitate.
Is this guy an MMTer? No. This
Oh, no.
What that means. It's just all like fantasy. He's like
MMTer?
every lecture, you know?
What is that? Why are you saying that insultingly? Are we not MMTers? We're not MMTers?
For them to
You're gonna trigger me today.
trade easier. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. Okay. So let's go back to the question. This system looks great. I can print money out of nothing. But there's a problem with this system. What's the problem?
I'm done. I'm dead. Ugh. Where's my team?
Forge receipts.
Okay, that's actually a great question, okay? So, yeah, is it possible to forge the contract? Okay? So,
Bro, I'm about to take a fucking shit, man. I'm talking a goddamn Omega.
Also, small circle. Again, we have not reached
is this a smartboard? Are these things cheaper now? I remember when we were in school, we got our first smartboard. It was a big deal. The thing was like fucking $10,000 or some shit.
Period where it's a lot of people using money. If that's the case, then fortune becomes a problem. We'll discuss this.
No.
Counterfeiting. And at this point in history,
You're hurting my ass.
It's not a big issue. There's actually a bigger issue. And it's a huge issue. What's the issue?
I'm just missing all these? Really?
$5 million of gold, right?
What's going on up here?
Of gold out there.
Okay.
In receipts.
Okay.
What's the problem with that?
Free money. Infinite money.
The problem is that if everyone wants to go at the same time,
oh, gold rush.
I go bankrupt, right?
Oh no.
Gold rush.
At any time you want the gold,
We're losing bad.
Okay.
But if I have like, if there's $100 million in gold contracts, but I already have $10 million in gold, only if 15 million wants the gold back, then I'm screwed. This is what we call a bank run.
Whoa.
Okay? A bank run. And this is a huge problem for merchants. Okay?
Did fractional reserve lending exist when people were on a gold standard? Is that even a thing? Did merchants do that? Does anybody have any idea? Because a bank run, so in current monetary systems,
that's a tank. That's a tank.
To somebody, you create like an asset and the liability is created to represent exchange money and all this, but you don't have to actually keep the physical reserve in your bank.
What are you more like?
That you've lent out to other people. So let's say
Please.
I have $1,000 to somebody and I have $100 in the bank, or whatever. Like I can write a note saying that I'm sorry. Yeah, right. In the United States, is it you have to keep on hand or whatever of like the total money lent out? You gain an asset of $1,000.
We are leaving.
So that everything will wash at the end of the day. But there's overall you lent out quote unquote more money than you actually have kept in your reserves. And what happens is if every single person were to come to the bank to make a withdrawal, people that have deposited money, all of them could withdraw the money that they have in the bank because the bank isn't required to keep on hand, I guess.
Damn, we just got
have a percentage
flanked.
of all the total money loaned or whatever. You can run into a situation where people are trying to make withdrawals for money that's not there, and then people freak the fuck out.
Wow, dude, banker destiny, crazy, exotic financial analysis.
Federal
technical analysis with Stephen Kenneth Destiny Bonnell II.
And it guarantees you up to
Beza.
Deposit Insurance Corporation. Okay. It guarantees you up to, is it 250,000 now, or is it still, is it 100,000 now? So that it's less likely that people go to a bank to withdraw money. I don't know if this existed. You could have a bank run though. People were still trading gold and shit. I don't even know if these merchants were considered banks. I have no idea.
There's also another problem.
There's no legal reserve requirements. In the
Full autoing this thing
Zero
just
legal
feels so fucking hard. Oh.
Who do I usually lend my money to?
Where am I getting shot from?
If I'm a bank, if I'm a merchant, who do I usually lend my money
Where am I getting shot from? I can't see it.
to? Okay, guys. Today we lend the money to entrepreneurs. But
I'm
back
coming.
then, there really weren't entrepreneurs. There were kings
Yes, it changed during COVID. Okay.
and noble people. And what do they do all the time? What do they need money? To fight wars. Okay? That's why there's a demand for gold. Because if I'm a king, I need to fight a war.
Oh,
Usually
that's true. For the Great Depression, they were still on the gold standard.
it's my brother or someone else to control this territory, right? Now, the problem with this is I could get killed, in which case, oops. But also, what's much more common is the king would be like, screw you, bank, I don't need to pay you back, okay? So there's actually a lot of risks with this system. So over time, develop a system to mitigate or reduce this risk. Okay? What would they do? What they would do is they would create cartels. Cartels are just partnerships. So maybe this bank
I'm trying to join the
works
cartel.
with another bank throughout Europe. And the way they establish these cartels is usually through intermarriage, right? They would marry each other, they would combine together. And that way, let's say 15 million receipts once back the goal is only 10 million. Well, guess what? You just go to another bank. Okay? And let's just say a king decides, I'm not gonna... That's kind of strange.
All users, the use for trade, they still have limited resources. The actual,
No, sir.
Okay, you see what's happening is this. You all believe money is scarce, okay? I just spent the past
Money's free!
It's not scarce. It's infinite.
Oh, I'm coming, brother. I'm coming, brother. Here. I got you, brother.
Okay? So that's how power works. Power has brainwashed you into thinking something.
And that's how mafia works.
You've been taught from the first day that money is scarce.
Nope. Nope.
But it's not scarce. It's infinite. And
No.
no matter what I say to you, you still believe this, okay?
Okay.
Get that out of your head. Money is not scarce, it is infinite. So let's go back to the question.
It is. It is
Why
infinite.
is there poverty in this world? Why do people starve? Why is there inequality in this world? Why are there
I don't have
poor people? Why are
poverty.
there rich people? What's the answer?
Preaching
There's
now.
no poverty over here, buddy.
Listen, bitch.
Because they don't rent.
Okay. Because it's scarce. Okay, so guys, this is amazing, okay? You
Guys.
You think money is scarce. You think
It's not.
it's not possible to print infinite money. Whenever
It
tells you
is.
It is possible to print infinite money because they do this all the time. Yeah?
The ones who have the power don't want everyone to share the same.
Oh my god, are those his pupils?
Because we don't want people to all have money. The powerful people don't want that. That's the answer. And why? Because otherwise, no one would work. Do you understand?
Oh my god.
Money is not to give you money. The point of putting money is to create the illusion that money is valuable, and therefore you work hard in order to obtain it. But in order for me to make you want to get money, I need to create artificial misery.
Like I read about this in 1984.
Right?
Oh
if
my
there weren't
God.
poor people, you wouldn't want to be rich. It's only like because you see people suffer that you would want to go make money for yourself.
Oh
What
shit!
do your parents tell you? Your parents tell you, work hard in school, make a lot of money. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like a poor person. Right? Well, guess what? If there's no
This thing is supposed to. This thing says it's for long range usage on it, but it has like the most insane bloom, like 10 feet
Someone that sounds like they have
from your
access to esoteric
fucking.
knowledge, breaking down very complex contemporary issues with the prevalence of anti-establishment adjacent narrative. This harms the average person from the onset.
I don't know. I just think that this thing doesn't feel like a long range fucking. Maybe I gotta mount it up. Probably not supposed to be running around with an M60. I guess that's probably real.
People are it just.
Whee!
I don't even know how to explain it. I keep going back to the English essay bullshitting thing. So you can just say a bunch of stuff without making any actual strong claims. But as long as like the narrative seems like it's like the syntax fits and the grammar is right, it feels like you're spitting. But technically, this is where, like, I don't think I would, maybe, I don't know for this guy, but I expect the average person to be able to listen to this guy and think like, I don't know, this seems like kind of bullshit. Maybe, maybe not, but I would expect the average person in media to know that, like, oh, this guy's kind of just like a random fucking retard. But I guess apparently.
Oh, dude, don't do Professor Young like that.
Wait, where? Can somebody link me his break?
Professor Zhang.
Ugh.
Late 20s, early 30s, I became really depressed.
Professor Zhang.
And honestly, I thought about
Cheng?
killing
Professor
myself,
Cheng?
And,
I don't know how to pronounce his
was
name,
playing
bro.
video games every single day. I just hated my parents' basement. And so, I was traumatized by it. It took me a long time to get over the trauma and recognize this is a false system. Okay? Yale traumatized me, and I need to relearn to be open-minded, to embrace failure, to be resilient, to embrace learning. Okay? And that's why I'm a teacher today, to teach you guys that to be successful in life, this is the formula. Okay? You don't need Harvard, Yale, and Princeton.
Fuck those schools. That's why I went to UNL, baby. Okay, we're getting sidetracked. Do we care anything more? Oman's trying to be a real friend.
All right, guys, we've got yet another heavy hitter guest and first-time guest on the show. Professor Zhang, he is the star of the popular YouTube channel Predictive History. He uses game theory to analyze past, current, and to predict future geopolitical events. And he joins us now, Professor.
Also, there are a few, I can give you very lightly, okay? There are a few heuristic things that you can listen for, and you know the person's probably bullshit. So anytime somebody talking philosophy brings up anything related to quantum mechanics, it's almost always going to be bullshit, okay? So careful, don't internalize any of that stuff. Or they talk about Gödel's incompleteness theorem, okay? I think there are 3 of them, okay? But a lot of the time, it's going to be some bullshit. Anytime somebody brings up, like, game theory...
On your feet, soldier!
Like, hardcore, like, game theory is an incredibly complex branch of mathematics. If this person has, like, no background in anything related to this, but they say, like, they do a ton of analysis related to it, I would always just say this is like a prime for pseudo-intellectual territory, okay? It's ripe, fertile ground, all right?
Okay.
All right, guys, we've got
Thanks, Steven.
yet another heavy hitter guest and first-time guest on the show, Professor
Heavy
Zhang,
hitter.
star of the popular YouTube channel Predictive History. He uses game theory to analyze past, current, and to predict future geopolitical events. And he joins us now. Professor, great to have you.
Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. So, for people who aren't familiar with your work, I wanted to show folks that back in 2024, you made 3 big predictions. 1, that Trump would win. 2, that he would start a war with Iran. And 3, that the U.S. would lose that war. Let's take a listen to that.
In this class this semester, I'm making 3 big predictions, right? First is that Trump will win in November.
Wow.
Second is that the United States will go to war.
This is the guy who said there's no strong evidence for the Holocaust, right? Yeah. I don't even know if that's the craziest thing he's said.
Iran. And the third big
Fuck it, what's the problem? What's the fucking problem?
Which will forever change the global order.
So obviously that last one is the only one that has not yet come to fruition. Is quite a stunning prediction. Do you stand by it? And what have you seen so far that leads you to sort of stand firm in that conclusion?
So given my analysis of how the war is progressing, I think that Iran has many more advantages over the United States.
Now, when we watched that video, unironically, a huge factor for him was saying that the mountains in the West means that we can never win a war with that country. I'm not even exaggerating or joking, okay? Unironically, all right?
The reality is that
I didn't.
Also, I don't know how we could even lose to Iran when I think we stopped right now. Didn't we kill like 37 of their fucking top leaders and everything? I don't even know what
just happened?
looks like right now.
It's a war of attrition between the United States and Iran, and the Iranians have been preparing 20 years.
Like, I'm so sorry. Iranians have been fucking sanctioned for 20 fucking years. What do you mean? Iran's gonna win a war of attrition against the West? Sorry. Okay.
For this conflict. In anthropology, in religion, this is a war against the Great Satan. They've had many practice runs. Last June was a 12-day war, and the Iranians were able to examine and analyze the strike capacities of both Israelis and Americans. And
yeah, the analysis was they can fuck us up the ass as deeply as they want, whenever they want. That was the analysis. What did they change in a few months? What? I need the magic! When is your talk with Hutch? I think he said we chat at 3 or 4 today, so in an hour or 2.
And they've had a lot of time, 8 months, to prepare fully for this new attack. They, through the proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shia militias, have been able to, and they've had a lot of time, 8 months, to prepare fully for.
Damn, wait, has it been 8 months since we bombed Iran? There's no way, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh man, bro, it's been a long year or something.
Well, oh, dude, this has been like the slowest year of my life. It's fucking nuts. I saw somebody on the subreddit, they were talking about like, oh, the years go by so quickly. I don't know how they're feeling that with this year. This year's been nuts.
This new attack.
You saw me.
They, through the proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shia militias, have been able to really grasp the American mentality.
The Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas. So Hezbollah,
The Houthis.
Hezbollah, that functional anymore? Thank you. True. Yeah. Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. Good job. You know what? A+. Okay.
Thank you.
Hezbollah, are they even functional anymore? The fact that Assad is gone leads me to believe that Hezbollah's capabilities have been severely fucking fucked. I don't know how functional, and Nasrallah is dead as well, so I don't know how functional Hezbollah is anymore. Hamas is, I don't know what the fuck even exists from Hamas anymore. And the Houthis, for all of whatever the fuck anybody says about anything, when the West wants to fearmonger that Yemen Houthis are going to take over whatever the fuck, and as much as the pro-Palestinian retards say the Houthis are just trying to stop the genocide, I'm pretty sure, unless something has changed significantly in Yemen over the past couple years, the Al-Houthi family and the, like, all that shit is domestic Yemen politics. The only reason at all that they said shit all about anything going on in Gaza is because Iran was helping them out a little bit in exchange for kind of pushing them to take, like, an international position on this. But Yemen is a country, there's a lot of fucking people. And they have a lot of internal fighting that they've done for basically the entirety of the last fucking century. This is not a country that wants to be involved in international affairs. You know, that, like, they might do a little bit of shit to get on Iran's good side for support from Iran, but I don't think that fuck, what was the name of the political party? They don't call themselves from the Houthi family anymore. Hassan says this all the time because he wants to sound cool. I don't
God damn!
In any kind of like big international conflict. I don't know. I haven't followed the situation over the past year or two, so maybe, but.
And now they have a pretty good strategy how to weaken and not destroy the Philippine Empire. So what the Iranians are doing is they're waging war against the entire global economy. And so they are striking the GCC countries. And not only are they striking GCC countries, American bases, they're going after the critical energy infrastructure of these bases. They blocked out the Strait of Hormuz. And eventually, they will go after the water desalination plants, which is the lifeblood of these nations because they don't have fresh water supply. In fact, the water desalination plants provides 60% of the GCC's water supply. So if a drone, and these drones cost $50,000, if they wiped out a desalination plant in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and they feed 10 million people, right? They'd be out of water in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And right now, the Iranians have de facto closed off the Strait of Hormuz, and the GCC gets 90% of its food from the Strait of Hormuz. So I know a lot of people are talking about.
Does he think that the Iranians can just outlast the Americans, or does he think that they can beat them? Like,
I truly have no fucking idea. But also, like, Iran wants to shoot at Iran wants to shoot at the Gulf states and everything constantly. Like, they always do this when they're getting fucked. I think it was a few years ago. Oh no, I think it was actually under Trump term 1 was the first time that they actually did a direct attack against Saudi oil refineries. It was kind of a big deal. And then the whole, can somebody confirm, I think the Limpet mine thing in the, I forget what that strait is called. It's like the Strait of Hormuz, but there's like a longer name for the whole thing. But they were putting mines in there too that I think that hit a few Japanese ships. But I mean, obviously you're going to be attacking oil and shit, whatever, from countries around you because that's like the shit to go for.
The disruptions to the global economy.
I don't think I queued this map.
It's a whole thing called the Persian.
I don't want to play this map.
The Iranians are actually threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar. And why this is important is that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back into the American economy through the investments in the stock market.
Is there a way that you can like?
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar. What's important is that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back in.
I don't know what that means, to sell petrodollars. Metal Letter, somebody can tell me if that makes sense. But so when you're trading so currency shit is complicated because people's currencies can change all the time. So let's say that I'm buying and selling oil on the global market, okay? I don't know if I want to sell my $100 worth of oil for 55 mutanes, okay? I don't know how long a mutane is going to retain its value. I don't know what the currency exchange is going to be. So instead, when we go to the global market, instead of me using destanes and Mutin using mutanes, we're just going to agree that all of our trade is going to be denominated in USD. It's going to be US dollars. So we might hold USD, we might trade USD to do the purchase and then trade out of USD or whatever, but we're doing things in denominated USD trade. This is what the petrodollar is I believe the United States has an agreement with all the Gulf states that every trade will be done in a USD denominated trade. That's the petrodollar.
I don't even think it has to be an agreement. I think it's more just like out of convenience.
Sell a petrodollar. It's just you're just like saying that you're
half,
or your oil industry is going to be doing trade and
like half I think like a holdover from like the Bretton Woods agreement. Like I don't think why actually? That's a good question. Petrodollar. It's like incredibly simple, I think. I don't think it's like that deep, like why they're using US dollars, like. Oh no, they literally like invented oh, okay. Oh, interesting. So, okay, so, like, is it a holdover from the Bretton Woods? Like... Yeah, okay, it's not a holdover, but it's almost like an evolution of Bretton Woods. Ugh. Man, the world was smoking dick when they agreed to the Bretton Woods system, bro. Holy shit, y'all motherfuckers fucked up on that. Thank you. Gracias.
A lot of people... That's another red herring.
Oh, I did cue that.
That's another red flag. Usually when somebody says petrodollar, you're about to hear the most conspiratorial, retarded shit ever. It's going to be followed by Rothschilds and the IMF and whatever the fuck else, but whatever. And then gold standard.
Weren't they talking about getting off of the dollar recently or whatever?
I think they were saying they wanted to abandon the petrodollar standard as like a denominated thing. I don't remember why.
I don't understand how the battle pass in this game works, man. So complicated.
So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back into the American economy through the investments in the stock market.
Give me my petrodollars now.
The entire American economy is propped up by AI investments in data centers. And a lot of that comes from
Jesus Christ.
The Gulf states. So if the Gulf states are no longer able to sell oil and they're no longer able to finance AI, this AI bubble in the United States, then this AI bubble will burst, and with it will burst as well as the entire American economy, which is really a financial Ponzi scheme. Right. So that's a dire situation that the Americans are facing right now.
True.
Yeah,
that's a statement.
An Amazon data center was literally hit in the UAE, and now, of course, big tech companies, which were looking at the UAE as a major potential data center investment hub with cheap and abundant energy, probably going to be rethinking that. We also want to talk to you about munitions. We can put this next one up here on the screen. The United States is racing to accomplish Iran mission before munitions run out. This is specifically around interceptor mass. There's a famous video video just from yesterday in Israel, which shows a single Iranian ballistic missile, which is being targeted by some 11 different interceptors, all of which miss. Most of those come from the United States, not to mention all of the different bases, the GCC countries that you just talked about, and the
Is that true? I thought ballistic missile interception should be... It's a ballistic missile. It just, you shoot it and it has a path.
I don't know about the 11, but I've been reading a lot. There's been a lot of doubts on how many fucking interceptors or whatever. Some of the.
You need 60. I think 45 is a good number.
That wouldn't surprise me because that
good
would
number.
be a thing that would require planning in advance, and the United States would have to be ready for that. I'm 100% confident. I don't care what anybody in chat says, metal or anybody, that we could do it, but it would require forethought and planning. Like you would say, oh, we're going to prepare for the next 2 months to be engaged in this type of conflict.
Why does this? Holy.
Ahead of time, but it wouldn't surprise me if the current administration literally just said we don't give a fuck.
It's seeming like they didn't talk to anybody besides Israel, and they just did this, which is giga fucking retarded. I figured that they would have talked to the EU and had a conversation about like, hey, what do we do, and what are we gonna look like after it's done? You know, like.
Yeah, it's just well because Donald Trump is what Putin wishes he was. That's what he thinks he is. Like Putin is like, we can go in and fucking flip this Ukraine shit in 2 weeks. And Trump is like, oh shit, that's some sick shit. We can go in and flip this Venezuela shit in 2 days.
Like we actually can.
He did, yeah. But the U.S. actually has the ability to do it. Now,
yeah.
There's a significantly larger enemy, and I don't know. And there's also more like vulnerable assets, you know, stationed near Iran. I don't even know anything about what this.
Bung.
Does Iran's leadership have the capacity or the will to engage in like long-term fights with? I don't know what the. I just don't know anything about the government. I truly don't. I have no idea.
It feels like they're just they just keep killing them until they find like the leader that they want, and they're just gonna keep re-rolling until they got it.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm curious. I don't know what the appetite is among Iran's leadership. Like, I didn't.
Let's go on my feet.
Government structure. Like, they have a president, but I don't believe the president does much. I think it was.
Getting out of here.
The Ayatollah has true command over everything, I believe. But I mean, he's dead. But I don't know what the. I don't know. I don't know like what the next person in line, if they are also on board with that, or if the Iranian people would say fuck this, or who the military.
You're gonna regret everything, pal.
I have no idea. Yeah.
in the United States.
Oh yeah.
All of the different bases in countries that you just talked about, and the asymmetry of the cost. It's $1 million per missile, tens of millions per interceptor in some of these cases. With these munitions running out, how does that change the global picture? So here in China, obviously, much of the stocks in Asia of the United States are likely to have to be cannibalized. How's that going to affect the global picture here?
Right. So my first point is that the United States military.
Oh my God! Just look at this guy. Look at this man.
Remember the military.
Just look at this man.
After World War II,
Sauger and Jetty.
And the Cold War was really about muscle flexing, but.
What about the Iraq?
I really liked Professor Jang's theory on Jesus Christ, but I'm questioning. The more I hear him speak, the more I question everything.
Tell me how evil the U.S. is and how realistic everybody else has to act. Then I watch Mearsheimer.
About who was able to send people up into space, who was the first person on the moon, who had the more complex missile systems. And so the entire American military strategy revolves around...
Let me in. I'm coming.
Technology that costs a lot of money to build. And that's what the American air defense system is basically. And that's why we're seeing this asymmetry, as you point out, in this war, where you have these $1 million missiles trying to...
I'm dead.
Iran will win. Iran's biggest partner is no longer Russia, but China. Well, I don't think the agenda or anything looks that. It's not that simple. Why do you keep asking me about new court updates? You can see the docket. I don't know why you're. How many times have you put this in chat?
It's also in the pin at the top of the screen.
Well, I know you typed more of this before. I mean, you can look at the docket. There's nothing. I don't know what.
Take out these $50,000 drones, and it's not sustainable in the long term. And so what we're seeing is really
I thought it was sweet. I thought I could get away with it.
For the past 20 years, especially after the collapse.
I don't want to play this map anymore.
And this is really a reordering of not just the global economy, because this signals the collapse of the petrodollar, and with it, the entire U.S. dollar-based reserve currency system, but also the global hegemony of the United States. We're moving towards a multipolar world.
Professor, this morning, Secretary of War...
Multipolar world.
Anytime you hear somebody talk about moving towards a multipolar world...
Multipolar.
The destruction of the United States and Europe also, by the way. Especially the destruction of Europe. but the downfall of the United States is like a secondary thing to that.
Was asked a question about potential ground troops in Iran. He refused to rule out that possibility, and he said, oh, well, we're not going to project to you what we will or will not do, but we don't want to, rule anything out. We will do what it takes. Do you think that America will end up invading Iran from the ground, since it's already becoming relatively clear they won't be able to accomplish the goal of regime change or even regime collapse using just air power alone?
Right. So everyone says that the worst calamity that could happen in the United States is if it were to send ground troops into Iran. At the same time, the United States are committed to regime change in Iran. We never had a precedent in history where you were able to regime change from the air alone.
Populating with bots?
What? Did we have ground troops for Gaddafi in Libya?
No, I don't want to play with bots.
No?
And so, unfortunately, what's going to happen over the next few months is that pressure will build on America to send ground troops, especially from the GCC countries and from Israel, which are being pouted right now by the Iranians. So remember that if the GCC countries, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, if they go, then
There were rebel groups we supported. Oh, sure. Well, there's always a million fucking groups in these. But I don't know, like, again, I don't know the situation for the ground on Iran. I don't know if there are, like, are we looking at a potential group that would even come into governing power? I don't know the domestic situation of Iran right now.
$100 goes with them. So the Americans.
That's actually what I look like in real life. Crazy, bro. How'd they get me in the game?
Demand that either the Americans bribe the Iranians to seize, and this is like $520 in indemnity, okay? Or send ground troops to wipe out the Iranian threat once and for all. And I know that there's no political will for ground troops to be used against Iran among the American people. But remember that 78% of the American people was against initial strikes against Iran in the first place.
Right. And one of the things that really comes into question, I think, with all of this, sir, when we're looking at the geopolitical picture and the sacrificing in much of this from the United States on behalf of Israel, is kind of a question as to who and what wanted this. We were actually curious for your view on a disputed report here from the Washington Post. We can put it up here on the screen, F3. A push from the Saudis. Israel helped move Trump to attack Iran. Now, this has been internally disputed by Saudi Arabia, saying that they did not push the Trump administration to attack Iran. However, this is clearly an authorized leak from our own government.
I think that, speaking with some caution here, but
Drippy.
Remember,
bad medicine.
All of the Arab or Gulf states that we work with, the leadership is friendly to us. That's why we like the leadership being there. So the Saudi monarchy is going to be friendly to the United States. But remember that the populations themselves are a little bit more ambivalent on the United States and are not very nice towards Israel. So the idea that Saudi Arabia would...
That's actually what I look like in real life.
...would be pushing the United States, hey, you need to do something about this Iranian shit, okay? Fuck this dude up. But publicly, I don't think they would come out and say, oh, yes, we love when the U.S. and Israel, our Jewish friends, bomb the fuck out of the Iranians. We love that. I don't think they would ever make us publicly. So even though this seems contradictory, I don't think it's necessarily contradictory that privately leadership is going to push for a thing that publicly represented different interests of...
Trying to at least lay some of the blame on behalf of the GCC.
Destiny, the Kurds we are supporting. The United States and Israel is seeking to foment an armed uprising inside Iran using a Kurdish fighting force, which has been built up since the 12-day war in 2025. Sources claim that since last year, weapons have been smuggled into western Iran to arm thousands of Kurdish volunteers. They started begin a ground operation within days, with possible air cover by the U.S. and Israeli Air Force. Is that true?
The reason they won't give them their own state is because they need them every few years to go and invade someone.
True.
But also, I don't even know where you would make a. Listen, they've got their Kurdistan in Iraq.
In Iraq, in Iran, in Turkey, just in the whole.
Brother,
probably the most stable.
Area.
Yeah, the Kurdistan Regional Government or whatever.
DC. What do you make of this analysis and of this narrative?
What the fuck?
Was also trying to be behind this push to bomb Iran.
So President Trump is calling on our
what the fuck?
to open the Strait of Hormuz after assuring them that the Iranian military has been, quote, 100% destroyed.
Bro, I don't know why it's making noise every time somebody chats, dude. I don't know.
Start out with a casualty update. We got notification from the Pentagon of
what that's about. Oh, I think I have to change it on Streamlabs. Oh my god.
Left to right is Major John Klinner, Auburn, Alabama.
Can't get a game.
Tech Sergeant Tyler Simmons of Columbus, Ohio. Tech Sergeant Ashley Pruitt of Bardstown.
Have I been playing with bots this whole time and not realizing it?
Of Mooresville, Indiana. Captain Curtis Angst of Wilmington, Ohio. And Captain Ariana Savino of Covington, Washington. And one that I missed that I wanted to provide an update on here as well is France lost a soldier that was struck in Erbil, at their base in Erbil by an Iranian-backed militia. On the screen here is Chief Warrant Officer Arnaud Frion. My apologies in the pronunciation there. Was killed a couple days ago as part of ongoing operations in the Middle East. Now, I have seen in recent days, we've started to make a bit of that shift to...
Man, go to the YouTube stream, bro. The YouTube stream got that top quality, man.
Troops. I don't think that's genuine. What I have seen is just a constant flow of support.
Got that top quality.
That are out there in harm's way, and so far they've executed an incredibly impressive campaign. Now, up the chain of command, especially getting into the civilian leadership, there are, and there should be, questions about pairing that tactical success with strategic victory. I think that's an obligation of a citizenry to make sure the sacrifices, like those 6 we just had on the screen here, are not in vain, and the cause and what we're able to achieve is worth what they've given. So we should expect.
Yawn.
Now let's start out with a statement from President Trump, straight, open, and safe.
Israel are heavily invested in regime change in Iran. In fact, Saudi Arabia sees Iran as much more of an existential crisis.
Saudi Arabia definitely want Iran gone to become the Middle East Arabian leader, but the way USA is doing it is definitely not how they want it, because Saudi friends are being absolutely wrecked by Iran's chaos method. Maybe USA can destroy Iran's capability before it gets too bad. Well, yeah, because the US is reckless and insane on every fucking thing they do right now, yeah.
Than Israel. You remember, Israel still has nuclear weapons, and Israel is a very diverse, very sophisticated economy, whereas Saudi Arabia is completely reliant on oil. And it's always had problems with Iran because Iran is a theocracy opposed to the Saudi monarchy. Iran funds and equips the Houthis.
Really? Is there like this many bots in each game? There's not enough people in this shit?
It's been trying to pivot towards more of a tourist.
But wouldn't Iran always react like this, even if the U.S. leadership wasn't retarded? Well, I mean, it would depend on what you do. Generally, we wouldn't be going for full-on regime change, so it would be like...
I don't want to play with bots, bro. Like, how is there nobody on this game?
Bombed their reactors before, and then when we killed Soleimani...
It's a dead game?
2019? Under Trump the first time, it's going to be like limited counterattacks. But now it's an all-out war because we've said we're going to kill all your leaders and do regime change, you know?
Economy. That's why they brought in Ronaldo. That's why they're switching to Gamin.
2020.
That's why they're building something called a line, Neom.
Bro, there's 50,000 people on this. On Steam alone.
Now, all you do is, I guess, you just find a person who gives you the talking points you want, and then you platform them with no responsibility or no insight or no research on who your platform or whatever else. That's just, it is what it is. It's a fucking, our media environment is a fucking joke right now.
These things are not working out. So they need to be able to control the oil resources of the entire Middle East if they are to survive and thrive as a nation. So I do believe that this reporting is credible, even though it does make Saudi Arabia look bad. But remember, Saudi Arabia says that they wanted peace, but they are helping the Israelis and the Americans attack Iran right now because they're allowing the Israelis and Americans to use Saudi airspace.
So help us understand, because it still feels to me like there's some pieces that don't totally add up. You had, in advance of this war on Iran, you had top military brass, up to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, saying, this is a really bad idea.
You need to understand that Trump gets blamed for abandoning the Kurds, but he actually wants to help establish a homeland for them. This is going to be one of his big selling points, mark my words. When does Trump talk about wanting a homeland for the Kurds? Trump, I guarantee fucking to you that Trump has no idea who the Kurdish people even are or what they are. He has no fucking idea whatsoever.
He'd be like, you talking about a cheese curd? Like, what
yeah,
are we
Trump
talking
has
about
no
here?
fucking idea.
You had top military brass, up to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, saying, this is a really bad idea. You know, we are not ready for this. You know, all the math on the interceptors that's been talked about for months at this point. And yet Trump still decided to go ahead. What is the calculus that he was making here that led him to take what, you know, already appears to be catastrophic actions?
Right, okay. So this is the key question. Why do they do this? I think there are 3 possibilities, okay? And I think all 3 possibilities are valid. The first is the idea of hubris. If you look at history, this is how empires behave. So the Mindoro kidnapping was quick, successful, and it was adrenaline rush for Trump. And that
I do believe this, but this is where like a retard can analyze a retard because Trump is retarded.
made him overconfident in the capacity of the American military. Okay, so hubris is a factor, and we see this throughout history. Why did Hitler invade Stalin? Because he conquered Europe really easily, and he thought he was invincible, right? And that led to.
I don't have all the World War II context, but I'm pretty sure there was a genuine fear of like communism spreading as soon as that war ended. Like a lot of people in
How
Europe
is it a
were
genuine fear? That shit's
for
so
the communist
stupid,
shit
bro.
after the takeover in Russia and everything. I imagine that was still. I don't know 100% all the reasons
A
why
genuine fear of
they
communism, really?
decided at that point to betray the Soviets or to go back on their agreement, but
The destruction.
I don't know if it was just hubris.
Why did Hitler invade Stalin? Because he conquered Europe really easily and he thought he was invincible.
Maybe it was the math.
Right, and that led to the destruction of the German army in the Soviet Union. So hubris is a factor. Then you have to look at internal political calculus, where even though America does not benefit from this war against Iran, Trump himself personally benefits. Why? Because the Saudis and Israelis are bribing him to attack Iran. Remember that the Saudis invested $2 billion in a private equity fund of Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law of Donald Trump, and the Israelis, through Miriam Adelson, have been financing Trump's political career, right? So Miriam Adelson, a few months back, said that she will put up $250 million if Trump were to run a third term. So Trump is getting a lot of financial and political support from the Saudis and Israelis. Also remember that if this war goes sideways, and
Three of these things are kind of true.
Trump is forced to use ground troops, he will probably get approval from Congress.
I don't know about that.
No.
Maybe. I don't know
We're
where
not
Congress
getting-
is at on this
I think
right
the
now.
Dems vote no. Doesn't seem like they're happy at all about it.
But also, when we say ground troops, are we talking about like limited stuff, or are we talking about like a full-on like Iraqi-style invasion? I don't know about that.
And this will give him emergency war powers, which will allow him to influence the midterms. So Trump is thinking about a third term. And I think at the ballot box, he probably won't get it. But if there's a war going on and you can delay elections and you have emergency war powers and people...
I don't think we've ever done that historically in the United States, and I don't think...
He would try it.
Did that even happen during World War II?
What?
Did that even happen during World War II?
Unless I'm retarded to that, I feel like I've never learned this in a history class, that we delayed elections because we were at war.
I don't think I've ever heard of that happening either, yeah.
Then he probably will get a third term. And the last factor...
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they were a little bit fucky, but even during the Civil War, I think we had elections. But yeah.
That is very important. It's an eschatological factor where, if you look at the Epstein files, it's clear that we are run by secret societies. It's clear that the world is run by these individuals who have a lot of power. We don't know who they are, but they control the military. They control the national security apparatus. And these people, there are different names for these people. You can call them the Illuminati. And the Illuminati are composed of three major...
Yeah. The whole channel is insane shit, yeah.
Jesuits, who control the Vatican. You have the 17 Frankists,
Circa, the Jesuits,
which control the modern state of Israel today. You have the Freemasons, which control the national security apparatus of the United States. And they believe that Israel, this war in the Middle East, is key to the end times in creating heaven on earth. So it's almost like a script that they're following, even though it doesn't make any political
They do believe that.
So I would say that these three are the best reasons why this is happening.
These people are fucking scary.
corruption is true, but
These people are religious zealots from Israel.
Around in a failed state at their doorstep. I actually don't know if they would prefer one or the other. I guess it would depend on how much of a threat they feel.
What is that?
Represent to them.
What is happening to me?
They're separated by at least a little bit of water. I imagine it probably would be worse than Iran, though.
What is?
Like I said, I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia and Israel welcome regime change, but they probably don't want like a Syria.
What the fuck was that?
So I feel like that would.
What is going on?
Anybody. It wouldn't be good for all of Europe either. But.
Sir, I hope you come back. This was very informative, I think, for both of us. We deeply appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the
Russia and China didn't help Iran. Why? I feel like I don't know if Russia is even even has the capacity to help right now. And I feel like China just doesn't.
Okay, we're good.
Like military shit as much. Like they'll send like training advisors or maybe some people or supplies or whatever. But in general, I feel like China's a little bit like military conflict avoidant. Like they don't. It's just not their vibe right now, or hasn't been for a while.
I mean, their missile system seems to fucking suck.
It wasn't so very long ago that the Western world was trembling in its boots, decades after the Cold War.
These motherfuckers.
All from Ukraine, US, Africa, to the South China Sea, the US and Europe's longtime adversaries were all preparing for the violent days ahead. And at the time, they were called the Axis of Options.
What?
Working together at unprecedented scale with America and its entire global alliance in their space. But Spin the clock forward to early March 2026,
Thanks.
and Iran is learning the hard way what the axis of upheaval was really worth. Right now, American and Israeli warplanes are laying waste to targets across the country, and growing alignment of European and Middle Eastern powers agree. No matter what happens afterwards, the Iranian regime must go. Flashback to the axis of upheaval, and would expect to see a massive coordinated response with one of the world's largest economies in China and one of the world's largest nuclear arsenals in Russia rallying to the Ayatollah's defense. But the Ayatollah is dead. The tides have clearly turned against Iran on the international stage, and in Iran's ways, its allies were nowhere to be found.
Did you see the U.S. consulate shit?
What happened?
In Pakistan? I think there was like 20 people killed because they were like storming the U.S. consulate in Pakistan.
Oh, yeah. It was a couple days ago, right?
Oh yeah. And apparently those people don't have like they don't have a way out right now. Like the Trump administration didn't even think of like having plans to evacuate people.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll have his own Benghazi transport, right?
So let's start with the elephant in the room. Global axis of upheaval, as described by Western analysts through a fair portion of the 1920s, just doesn't exist.
Yeah, most political content on YouTube is so crap, that's depressing. Well, the issue is that people decided that freedom of speech was the best thing ever, and we didn't want to be gatekept by the corrupt elite media anymore, and the billionaires and the corporate lobbyists, so we're going to all do our own media, so now you just have a bunch of retards running around with no background information on literally anything, giving their opinions about everything, and our entire half of our political conversation in the U.S. is informed by whatever Joe Rogan thinks at the time. That's what we're at.
Sooner or later, every nation has to pick a side.
True.
The 1920s have been a grimly educational experience for nations that chose to align themselves with Russia. Not long ago, the nation of Azerbaijan conquered the disputed territory of Karabakh and put an end to its military rivalry with Armenia, paying zero mind to the Russian peacekeepers that Armenia thought it could depend on. At the end of 2024, when Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad stared down the barrel of a rebel offensive, Putin didn't offer Assad military support, but an apartment.
I don't think I like this gun.
Hasn't Putin been offering military support to Assad for like a fucking decade? I know it's tapered off recently, but especially in the early parts of that Syrian civil war, there was a lot of Russian shit flying back and forth to help Assad maintain his
Bro.
awesome, like between the war in Ukraine now and the futility of the Assad regime, they're just like, fuck it. I mean, I'm nitpicking. Technically what this guy's saying is true, so at the end, they were like, fuck it. I mean, like, the fact, like, it was already kind of sad enough that, like, that Joe Rogan invited on Andrew Wilson, but the fact that Rachel, his wife, what the fuck? Who is, like, barely literate and wrote a book about how satanic demons take over women and feminists and politics, that's, I don't know.
An apartment and a life under the careful watch of Russian handlers. When in early 2026, longtime partner Nicolas Maduro was spirited out of Venezuela by American special operators, Russia offered out the weakest condemnations possible and signaled
U.S. went in there, took a president. I mean, that's just that.
Even still, there was some reason to believe that Iran might be a special case. After all, this is a nation that's drawn much closer to Russia since its 2022 invasion of Ukraine.
Bro, we gotta take our fucking territory over here, brother.
Even more information on the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, as well as
This is like our Venezuela over here. Oh, really? Oh, really? Chart daddy?
I mean, like, in a very, very, very outer perimeter way, maybe a little bit. It's weakening an ally of Russia.
But not like a direct, like, the Shahed drones or whatever aren't getting sent to Russia anymore, and instead Ukraine's having,
how many were being? I imagine Russia's probably
we
got
suck.
Production to make their own now, right? Did he say how many are being sent? Yeah.
I think they had a past contract.
Okay.
What level am I? 39. That is not what I was fucking expecting. Oh my god.
Very sane individual, solved all of them.
How did I just...
Game of Thrones? And I
Game of Thrones?
Joffrey anywhere until this guy did. you literally watch it. You're like, what a piece of, you know, you watch the mob, you know, you watch some movies.
Oh.
And I think it messed up a lot of the world because it got everybody into incest.
Man, these are really two retards right here speaking.
And how many people turned off the TV when Jamie and Cersei's hooked up? Or how many people got quiet and watched?
How many people got quiet and watched?
These are your geniuses. These are your Einsteins, guys. It's these guys. These are your Einsteins.
Or how many people got quiet and watched? That was the incest that was
I wanted that ass so bad.
of Game of Thrones and the House of Dragons. You know, it's almost being normalized in a sense. But I bet you incest porn went up.
It's being normalized? Bro, weren't these like normalized? Bro, the people from the time period that you're making a fictional thing about normalized it. What are you fucking talking about? Normalize. What? That's like what royals did, bro. They fucked each other and kept it in the fam. What are we confused about?
Game of Thrones. You know,
Game of Thrones.
For 7, 8 years in front of you. Now it's normal.
We're watching Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Peg said, asking for an investigation
We're watching Game of
that
Thrones.
strike on a girls' school in Iran. Why did you not
Game of Wee Wee.
Well, because we all agree that it's a tragedy.
No, he's not French. He's from Iran.
Absolutely. And we all agree now for an
He's from
investigation.
Iran.
What I-
Patrick
what I
Bet David.
don't agree with the rest of my colleagues in the House is that it's a war of choice, or it's dumb, or all the things that my colleagues have described. You know, this operation. I think it's a good thing, and I support that. So we agree that
What?
the Pentagon is already investing it. They just
Bro, she's struggling to
acknowledge
keep a
that,
fucking
it seems
straight face.
increasingly likely that we
This dude is on
now
crack.
on that, and now I think it's a
Wait, what the fuck did he say? I'm sorry. Wait, can somebody summarize? What the fuck did he just say? What the fuck?
asking for
What? Hello?
an investigation into that strike on a girls' school in Iran? Why did you not sign that letter, Senator?
Well, because we all agree that it's a tragedy having that school hit.
Tragedy?
Absolutely. And we all agree now for an investigation. What I don't agree with the rest of my colleagues in the House is that it's a war of choice, or it's dumb, or all the things that my colleagues have described. You know, this operation. I think it's a good thing, and I support that. So we agree that actually the Pentagon is already investing in that. They just acknowledge then that it seems increasingly likely that we were now on that, and now I think it's entirely appropriate. Just like my
Bro, put me in office. What the fuck?
You know, we should apologize that. That's a tragedy, and I would remind everybody listening right now, the United States.
Me when I have to lock in because I know my debate opponent is crashing the fuck out, and I'm trying hard not to laugh.
That's a tragedy, and I would remind everybody
My
listening
mouse.
right now, the United States never ever targets civilians. Iran does, you know, and including their own citizens.
Iran?
35,000 of them just a couple weeks ago. And the left media
You mean
is
Iran?
angry, you know, about or talking about this hospital.
Dude, we're just getting absolutely
And it
rampooned.
is a tragedy, but they didn't seem to be as concerned about the Iranians massacring tens of thousands of their young people just a couple weeks ago too. So we agree on many parts of it, but we both disagree. I mean, we all disagree that I think it's a good thing, and every single other
We disagree that I think it's a good thing.
On many parts of it, but we both disagree. I mean, we all disagree that I think it's a good thing, and every single other Democrat in the caucus caused it all kinds of in negative terms.
We did cover the protests in Iran extensively here at CNN. Obviously, they said a lot about how internally people...
This guy has Havana syndrome.
You do believe if the United States... I understand. I just want to make that clear to our viewers that we did cover that. But just to be clear, you do believe if the United States was...
Listen to Caitlin stop for a moment and say, just so you know, Baldy, we did cover that.
responsible, that the Pentagon should acknowledge that they actually...
Oh, my health thing go.
Yeah, I said that. I said it seems that they've already acknowledging all those things. I think largely that letter, it was rendered moot at this point after that's already come out. Now the Pentagon has agreed that they were behind that. And
Why does this map sucks? No, this map sucks.
But what I'm saying that...
What map was it? Empire State,
Times
Olympia, or whatever?
I'm
not
trying to
playing
convince
that.
America that this has been a disaster or things are out of control, and that's just categorically not true on that.
I just think it deserves coverage. Obviously, given the number of children who were killed as a result of it, it obviously matters what happened there. We'll see what the Pentagon investigation says. Senator John Fetterman, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for joining us, as always, here.
Yes. Oh, no, you don't have to cut me off here.
Go ahead, Senator. We're not going to...
Oh, no, and then she brings him back.
Cutting you off.
Well, you said something that it's like it's appropriate to cover it. It is appropriate to cover it. You know, it's a tragedy, absolutely. You know, and if we were on that, it's entirely appropriate for her to apologize. If you're implying that I don't think it's wrong to cover it, that's just not true. Yes, it's being covered. I just want to clarify that. It just seemed like a short shut off there to imply that I didn't want to carry that. Or I think it's entirely appropriate to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not implying that. I just wanted to clarify why we're covering it.
Fuck, some of you guys hadn't watched this? Or maybe, was I not streaming to a lot of people when we watched this? This was so good.
What is your main bone of... Eric, you've come up with an alternative.
Coming soon on Patreon, Luda loses respect from both sides, and Jack Black is the world's worst friend. Plus, over 310 exclusives with a new one every week, Q&As, talk to me on Discord, and more at patreon.com/dosabuck. Welcome to Scumbags of the Internet. This is the feature where I find some human stain on the sheets of society, point them out to you for your amusement. Sometimes it's just some nobody, but most of the time these days, they're the new celebrities.
What the
social media goofballs. Like we have with today's multitude of scumbags. Nina Lynn, Life is Mizzy, Rakai, and really all IRL streamers. An IRL streamer, or in real life streamer, is just as the name implies. While streaming started out as people playing video games in their dirty bedrooms for the amusement of whoever likes watching that, it's now evolved, or devolved, depending on your perspective, to filming yourself doing nearly anything. Like, say, harassing people or breaking the law. So, we begin with Nina Lynn, who, like all these people, once you go down the rabbit hole, it's seemingly endless, the number of accusations they have. We'll start with the shoplifting, I suppose. So this goes viral toward the end of last year. She's grocery shopping at a Target, and people watch this for some insane reason. Please rethink your life choices if you sit around and watch hours of other people living their lives and go live your own. But anyway, we see her using the self-checkout, where she scans a stick of butter that she's put on top of a pack of meat, and then puts both items in the bag. She tries to defend this later on by showing a receipt that no one believes, and when that doesn't work, she responds with this.
I'm telling you, bro, ain't nobody missing no fucking money, bitch. Calm the fuck down. No Target is not losing no type of fucking money from the States.
I apologize for the quality. I didn't record this.
I just marked the helicopter that wasn't even on my screen.
Voice. Who's voluntarily listening to this? She sounds like Miley Cyrus gargled glass. So anyway, turns out Nina steals all the time. Someone made a compilation of all the time she's done this same scanner trick, which she seems to hover around 3,000 to 6,000 subscribers a month in a lot of these clips. Her cut is $3 from that. That's $9,000 to $18,000 a month, and she's stealing steak? That's a fetish thing at this point. I knew someone decades ago who grew up rich who would shoplift from the liquor store just for the thrill of it. So, that rabbit hole I mentioned, there's another clip of Nina holding down some dude that is clearly trying to run away, doesn't want to be touched, while another one of these losers rubs her ass on him. He later said he felt assaulted, but then deleted the post, probably because he got mocked. A man can't be sexually assaulted. Anyway, this all resulted in Nina getting banned for like maybe a week or so, committing multiple crimes on stream. No problemo, says old Dan Clancy. About a week after she gets unbanned, she walks into traffic in New York City to dance, then gets mad when cars try and drive around her. You know, if Ma'am Dammy wants to become more popular,
Ma'am Dammy? God damn it. Fuck you.
We move on to Life is Mizzy, which if you watch her, then your life is miserable. So she's doing this stream where she's walking around dressed as a cop in an outfit she got on clearance the day before Spirit Halloween closes for the year, handing out fake tickets. LOL. She tells this guy he's getting a ticket for having his shoe untied. Here's his response.
He said, next time I'm gonna spit on your stupid ass. Is that what he said?
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. No, what's crazy is that you treat human beings like they're all extras on your show. You know, I've been thinking about this. All these IRL streamers who bother other people in public for their content, making prank videos and shit, they should have to pay them the SAG rate that extras get paid to be in TV shows and movies. The minimum, I'm told by someone who does that kind of work, is $1,246 a day. This woman, real name Marissa Gill, is a failing actress. She's in Hollywood. You can see they're on the Walk of Fame. She knows this. Anyway, this clip kind of has a happy ending, so she basically calls the guy a coward for not saying that he wants to spit on her while they were still there.
He could have just like said that on camera. If you're gonna say something like that, say it on camera, you know?
Well, you're about to get your wish, Mizzy, because our friend has more to say.
I think I learned my lesson from that.
Hey, check it out. Next time you do it, it's your last warning. You did it to me twice. Stop disrespecting me, bro. I don't know you. Don't let her get you in trouble. Because you a guy, bro. Stop doing that.
Let's see that one more time.
Hey, check it out.
Oh, that's so good. I hope that costume was paid for.
Fuck.
Because if it was a rental, she's gonna
I was
lose
watching the
deposit
video.
on those shorts.
Get up, get up, get up.
She claims on Twitter, it wasn't a prank. IDKY, the person who posted that clip, said that. I'm not a prankster streamer. Then what the fuck are you? A performance artist? Like, this is why these people piss me off so much. Same with Nina. It's how unapologetic they are. They defend their own shitty behavior as if there's nothing wrong with it. Because to them, there isn't. They're such narcissists. They have such main character syndrome. Of course she should be allowed to just walk around and bother other people for content. Why else were these people put on the earth? Yeah, actually, Buckley, it's not illegal to record strangers in public. You don't have a right to privacy. Yeah, I'm aware of this. It's also not illegal to lick door handles or shit in a public toilet and not flush. But civilized humans don't do those things either. Leave people alone or get their permission first before trying to make them part of your garbage content. Anyway, we move on to Rakai. He's a child that seemed to spawn out of Kai Cenat's content. You know what? I don't even really give a fuck about the lore of these losers, but this one's an older example. But as you know from previous videos, if I hate anything more than IRL streamers, it's IRL streamers who make content while they drive. This kid is 17 years old, by the way, driving around wearing a fake beard for some reason, both hands on his phone, not looking at the road, not in a self-driving car, and he looks
Where did that come from?
to avoid hitting something or someone and doesn't give a fuck.
Oh my god. Oh shit. What's up, play?
Oh man, I almost hit something with the 3,000 pounds of steel and glass I'm supposed to be in control of. Anyway, how do I get the music on this thing? Fuck right off. I've been critical of Extra Emily for that in the past, too. There's probably a dozen clips of her driving while streaming and not paying attention. Like this one where she's doing 60 over a speed bump. And of course, there was the Jack Doherty incident. Hydroplaning across 2 lanes of traffic because he was reading his chat while speeding. I honestly think all IRL streamers should be banned. But if they're not gonna do that, at least get rid of the ones who drive. But Twitch won't. They unbanned these people after a couple of days, giving them a little time out. They banned a guy who combined both my least favorite things about these douchebags. A guy named Swifty was doing food delivery streams. People say that like it's a normal combination of words. He's live streaming himself, driving around to people's houses, effectively doxing a bunch of people, reading and responding to the chat while he's doing it. And he makes this somber video about how I've been doing it to make ends meet because January and February are the worst months for ad revenue. Fuck your ad revenue. Who gives a shit? Well, Twitch, I guess, cares about their cut because, again, they unbanned him after like a day. You know, maybe I'm blaming the wrong people for this because clearly there's no real punishment for any of this. Twitch says illegal activity is prohibited, but we just saw clips of people stealing, committing sexual assault, impersonating a police officer, and driving distracted and possibly without a proper license. all of them still allowed to do this. All of them inspiring other creators to do the same thing because we know that Twitch is where originality goes to die. One girl does a stream in a hot tub, and then 1,000 more do the same thing. So when, not if, when someone kills someone with their car during an IRL stream, perhaps we should blame Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, who considers himself a personal friend of Extra Emily and knows exactly what she does on her streams. We should blame him for allowing this to go on. He could ban them all. After all, they banned implied nudity when girls were wearing black bars and pretending to be naked. Oh no, scary. What if someone saw a breast? But they won't ban people who drive while streaming, something that has a real potential to cause harm. Quite the fucking priorities there, Danny boy. But I guess when you look like the fucking keyboard player for a Jimmy Buffett cover band, you just want everyone to relax, man. It's like, sometimes crimes need to be committed to make good art, man. Can't be letting potential vehicular homicides harsh my buzz. I don't have time to be making rules. I have to find a hat and facial hair combo that makes me look more like a cross between Crocodile Dundee and a pedophile. So, thanks to today's scumbags of the internet, Nina Lynn, Life is Mizzy, Rakai, all IRL streamers who harass the public or put people in danger, but also Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, a 62-year-old man who doesn't want to...
On the eve of the American invasion, Saddam Hussein's Iraq suffered little robbery and violent crime. Saddam
I feel like I never know what's going on. Oh, my gun shoot. Spawn in and can't shoot. Based.
Saddam, after all, was an authoritarian. His police, while brutal, ensured that street crime was almost unheard of. In fact, prior to the invasion, Iraq had a crime rate that was among the lowest in the entire world. That all would change practically overnight. In October of 2002, Saddam, bracing for a U.S. invasion, would empty Iraq's prisons. In what was seen as an attempt to garner support on the international stage and at home, President Saddam officially declared, quote, "All jailed prisoners, detainees, and sentenced fugitives for political reasons are granted a complete, comprehensive, and final amnesty." This ultimately amounted to many thousands of people, mostly political prisoners, but it also included thousands of common criminals and some of Iraq's most violent, those imprisoned for murder or armed robbery. Thus it was that following the American bombing campaign, all hell
I don't know
broke
where I'm
loose.
getting shot from,
Public
bruh.
order had evaporated. The so-called shock and awe campaign was so overwhelming that
These
by
New York
mid-April,
maps suck.
the Iraqi army had ceased to exist. With criminals roaming the streets, carnage ensued. Although, amid the chaos, lines began to blur. With the breakdown of society, common people, moms and dads, became petty criminals themselves. As in the first Gulf War, the aerial campaign had once again targeted water and sewage treatment plants along with the electrical grid that powered them. As a result, even bottled water became scarce. Starvation and disease became a serious danger for the population. Naturally, looting became a form of shopping. The desperate poor, driven by hunger, and criminals, driven by greed, formed gangs that prowled the streets looking for targets. The police had drifted away from their stations to join either the vigilantes or the gangs. Crime became rampant, including homicide. But Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld chose a bare-bones approach, running the Defense Department like something of a corporation, slashing employees and using the bare minimum of troops, hoping to fill the rest via contracts awarded to defense contractors. Among the first fissures in the military was a very public feud between Rumsfeld and Army Chief of Staff General Erich Shinseki. Shinseki thought that Iraq should follow America's so-called Bosnia model, or 1 U.S. troop for every 50 Bosnians. That would amount to 300,000 U.S. troops in Iraq. But Rumsfeld scoffed and allowed less than half that amount, about 130,000 troops. During the Algerian War of Independence, the French used over 3 times that many, nearly 500,000 in all, to fight about the same number of insurgents as the U.S. would fight in Iraq. Needless to say, they lost. Among the first fissures between American forces and the Iraqis, the breakdown in security. Dr. Faik Amin Batir, who was the head of the city morgue in Baghdad, spoke about the
Is there not a melee button?
Nobody knows when he
Like,
will
do I
be
have to-
killed, when he will be attacked, when he will be looted. This is the real situation. There are a lot of criminals because of the lack of security, lack of police control. You know, Iraq was controlled by many security systems. Being in control, the lack of security reflected poorly on the Americans, and was among the first and most important factors undermining their credibility. Among the myriad mistakes made in the lead-up, execution, and aftermath of the invasion The decision itself to target Iraq, choosing the Iraqi people as a people to pacify and subdue, also proved to be unwise. Never mind the fierce national pride of a people who had kicked out the British and gained independence nearly 70 years earlier, Iraq was also historically a hardy agricultural society. Another way of putting that would be they were heavily armed. We tell the Americans we are prepared for them, says Abdul Amir Nasir al-Abdi. My grandfather has a gun from 1895, and I'm going to use it to kill American soldiers. I'm keeping this gun in my hand. I also have a pistol and a Russian Kalashnikov. All Iraqis have these. Indeed, Iraq was one of the most heavily armed societies in the world.
Absolutely
and on a per
atrocious.
capita basis, Iraq's gun ownership rivaled other clan-based societies like those of Yemen and Somalia, where virtually everyone is armed.
Dude, I gotta get my
But
controls
those
figured out. I
corroded
don't
rifles
understand
and
what the fuck
pistols
it-
passed down along generations were the least of the Americans' problems. Along with emptying prisons, Saddam also made life difficult for the Americans by dumping small collections of weapons and explosives among the Iraqi population, and distributed rifles. But some weapons dumps were massive, the size of small cities. There were also the Iraqi military arsenals just ripe for the picking. With the army effectively non-existent and a lack of U.S. troops to guard these depots, Iraqis began breaking into them. The result was that Iraq, which was already a heavily armed society, became overflowing with weaponry. Estimates put the number at up to 1 million metric tons. There is more ammunition in Iraq than any place I've ever been in my life, and it is all not securable. These weapons would be sold or simply passed out for free to friends and family. Now, almost every Iraqi had a Kalashnikov or other variant, and many had machine guns and RPGs. For example, the American Congress and subsequently the public would not be informed until the end of October of 2004, more than 18 months after the war began, that a cache of over 380 tons of artillery shells, plastic explosives, mortar rounds, TNT, and other powerful conventional
There we
explosives
go.
was
Like, I
cleaned
don't know
out
why
by
that was.
looters. This storage site, which was just 30 miles from Baghdad, was left unguarded by the U.S. military. This was certainly an error that would come to haunt them. Though Rumsfeld's DoD failed to emulate the so-called Bosnia model in sheer numbers of troops, they adopted another Bosnia-era policy which would come to uniquely define the American occupation. Known as DAB, or Driving Around Bosnia, U.S. forces would adopt patrols as a routine, daily exercise. It was thought that the presence of soldiers on the ground would bring an air of security to cities and populated areas. But these ground operations also brought troops door to door, conducting constant raids on Iraqi homes. Otherwise known as cordon and sweep operations, the cavalier and often cruel nature of these raids became another major point of contention among the Iraqis. These sweeps were indiscriminate, nabbing so-called military-age males, which included young teens and children, up to adult or even older men. These men, without any due process, were hauled off to American military prisons, including the notorious Abu Ghraib prison, the Saddam-era torture chamber, which was reopened by the Americans.
This game's triggering me right now.
Who even reinstituted the old prison warden from the Saddam era. Just that alone, of course, along with the ensuing torture scandal, was yet another rage-inducing insensitivity which made many Iraqis ready to take up arms. Iraq was a socially conservative society and placed great importance on not only national, but also personal and family dignity. Iraq's social norms of honor and privacy, especially for women and girls, was thoroughly violated by strange
Hey, did you see my new truck? Is that yours? You jealous, ain't you? I saw that out there this morning. Boy, that's a sharp-looking truck. Had to be about $80,000, $85,000, ain't it? 2024. Denali. Denali. Ha 2,500. You jealous, ain't you? Whoo-wee. That's a lot of money. Good for you. Can't hide money, can you? I don't try to. Why? That wasn't. I don't try to. I got it. I got it. That's just something people say. You saw that boost I got too, didn't you? That don't make you have. Just saying. I got it, bro. I mean, we work at the same place. You know, I know about what you make. Yeah, I know we work at the same place. I got more money than you. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Well, you got a lot of debt. You got a lot of debt. See, you know the difference between debt and money. You got a lot of debt, but I don't think you got that much money. I know the difference between debt and money. What you talking about? I got money, bro. Money. Look at my truck. Look at my motorcycle. I got jet skis. You name it, I got it. Boy, I got.
I feel like this is like a poor person's interpretation of like debt and wealth, bro. Like, like oh, debt is bad because you owe money on your new truck now. But oh my god.
I got a $30,000 side by side. Yeah, you got a lot of toys. I know.
I mean, this is bad
Hey,
debt
shut
for
up.
sure.
Look at my truck. Look at my truck. What you drive? A 94 Toyota single cab. Got over 300,000 miles on that truck.
Sheesh.
Still kicking. Yeah, a 94 Toyota single cab. It don't even compare, bro. It don't even compare. I got it. I got it. I got it like that. My Toyota gets me to work just as easy as your $80,000 Denali. Man, shut up. That's why you eat sandwiches all day at work. Bologna sandwiches and cheese every day. That's what I like. Every day, bologna and cheese sandwiches. That's what I like. Bro, you wish you could go out to Applebee's. I go to Applebee's. I go to Longhorns. You name it. I'm there every day, lunchtime. I don't skimp out. I got it. Don't be mad at me because I got it and you don't. You ever added up bills for all that stuff? Dude, I got... You see what I'm working with? How many hours a week do you have to work to pay for all that? If I work 85 hours a week, I'm fine, but I ain't soft hands. I work 85. I ain't worried about 85 hours a week. That's rookie numbers, man. You got to work 85 hours a week. So when are you going to have time to use all those things? The side-by-side, the jet skis, to drive the truck around. When are you going to have time to do all that working 85 hours a week? Let me tell you a little secret. Let me tell you the difference between debt and money. I don't work overtime. Say what? I work 40. That's it. I'm out the door. I'm out the door. I don't need it. How you do that? I don't have all these bills you got.
God damn, that hurt me.
prices are way down. We just had 4 states. It was just reported that 4 states had $1.99 a gallon.
Trump should have had ample warning that toppling the Iranian government was not going to happen. On March 7th, the Washington Post revealed that a classified report by the National Intelligence Council found that even a large-scale assault on Iran launched by the United States would be unlikely to oust the Islamic Republic's entrenched military and clerical establishment. The report was completed about a week before the United States and Israel initiated the war. The intelligence concluded that Iran's clerical and military establishment would respond to the killing of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei by following